That's going to be on my latest rendition of 10 tools I wish I bought earlier. It's going to be that. Welcome to Off the Cut.
Dude, I haven't touched any wood in a long time.
I don't care how long it is.
Or you're trying to make eye contact with the person.
Maybe you're looking at it from the wrong angle.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad we got the explicit out of the way early.
If I'm going to put money into this, it's going to be great. And I guarantee it.
Get it?
For a second, I forgot how this thing started. Welcome to Off the Cut episode 170 for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. And although we might not know how to start the podcast, our good friend Jonathan Katz-Moses certainly knows how to start a tool company.
Nice.
How was that?
You're good. Not a bad little transition. Good save.
I know. Well, everything over at Cam Tools is for woodworkers by woodworkers, which what does that mean, Zach?
It means that everything that's in their store is either designed by Jonathan and his team, or, there's some exclusive other content creators that he's also worked with to create things, or it's stuff that they actually use in their workshops, not a bunch of cheap, high margin stuff that they were able to order in off Temu.
I feel like I know you're about to swear. I feel like Jonathan wouldn't be mad if you.
He wouldn't care. He wouldn't care. That's true. I always, It's the thing that keeps me from swearing the most is the fact that we have to then mark the episode as explicit, and it's just like an extra layer of paperwork.
Yeah. Which I don't know if that actually does anything.
No, probably.
You mark them all now, Deric?
Yeah, it's mark them all explicit.
Right.
Okay. That's okay. Well, then we can swear away.
Yeah.
Get yourself a goddamn bourbon blade, everybody.
Here's your ASMR.
Where's mine? It's over here behind me.
Oh yeah.
I imagine if you've already got one of them marked explicit, marking any of them not explicit isn't going to help you at all.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I was editing footage for my latest video today, and there's a lot of bourbon blade appearances in that video.
Yeah.
Just prying off 3D print supports, stuff like that.
Hope you put an affiliate code down there.
Oh, I don't know if I actually have one for...
Huh.
I should talk to... He offered me at some point. Anyways, we should get back. We should finish this ad and get on with the podcast.
Yeah. Anyway, you can pick up all kinds of tools like the aforementioned bourbon blade. Here's another ASMR. Oh,
we
that
set
was
that up
good.
nicely.
Over at camtools.com, where a portion of all their proceeds goes directly towards the Katz-Moses Woodworkers with Disabilities Fund, which gets tools and resources into the hands of folks who need it most.
Hell yeah.
And Deric, what's the big kicker? Deric, what do we got?
Oh, is that the $50 giveaway we do every month?
The $50 giveaway, you said?
Yeah.
Stand by, pause. I'm not pausing. Are you referring to the...
Oh, yeah.
God, I love that song so much.
We forgot about it.
I know. We didn't use it for the last few episodes.
Yeah. Well, if you want to get a $50 gift card to Cam Tools, all you got to do is go over to patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. Sign up for any tier level. Automatically entered to win on the first episode of every month. Plus,
that's next week.
Oh,
next week's on the 1st. Sign up quick.
On this. Yeah, sign up quick while you can. And you also unlock the bonus show, the Aftershow, all kinds of stuff, which we have a little tease for you. Deric has quite the grievance that he needs to air. He needs to get it on his chest. And that's where we get a little spicy over there. We answer questions, all kinds of stuff. So basically, if you enjoy this podcast, if you support us on Patreon, you're effectively unlocking another podcast,
Yeah, double content easily.
Yeah, but enough of that stuff. What's been going on in your guys' world? What's up?
Editing. Race against the clock.
Dude, I'm the same way. Do you have one that's due this week?
Not due this week. So it's a video for Bamboo Lab, and they're being really cool and really flexible about it. But I told you guys I leave on vacation next week. I'm leaving Thursday next week. And I just want to get all the work that I have done before I go. They were like, it's fine. You can release it after you get back from your vacation. No big deal. But I'm like, no, I'm going to push through. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
And so I was head down. I was recording voiceovers. I was editing. I was, I guess, how often does this happen to you guys? You finish a video, like the project is done, but then you're like, it'd be really good if I had a B-roll clip to better illustrate this point.
So you go fake it?
So you go fake it. Yeah. How often do you do that?
All the time.
Okay. And like at the point where the project's done and you're in the editing bay, you'll go back into the shop and fake it. Yeah. Okay.
At least or sometimes if I need some sort of like transition-y thing. So you're building a piece of furniture and you finish the legs or you finish the base or whatever. And you're like, I really need some kind of clip of me being like, all right, so now that the legs are finished, I think the next thing to hop into is this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll like make those clips, but I'll usually frame it in a way that you can't see anything else in the shop. You can't tell.
For continuity.
Oh, right. You can't tell that project does not currently exist in the shop.
Yeah.
I bet that was hard to do when you were transitioning between shops.
Yeah.
True. But you could probably, I feel like you could always like just record it with like the wall behind
really
you.
Tight.
Really tight, yeah. Like to a wall behind you and nothing else.
I mean, but at the end of the day, like, who cares, right? Like,
yeah, that's also true. I would love for people to, how there's like these people who get really obsessed with Star Wars, or maybe Star Wars is a bad example, but they'll be like, Luke had his watch on his left arm in this scene, and then this on it's on his right arm. I would love if people started paying that level of attention to my videos, because you would find so many errors.
There's is that the YouTube channel? It's called like something Cinema Sins.
Oh, I didn't know about this. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it's called, and they do it with a lot of horror movies. They're like, they basically point all the stuff out that like just doesn't make sense, or like, oh, they messed that one up. But they're pretty funny to watch. If you haven't had a chance
horror movies are notoriously low budget, so that would kind of make sense that there'd be a lot of shots where like, we don't really have the budget to go back and reshoot this, so we'll just run it as is.
Right. Yeah, but no, I add the B-roll clips into videos all the damn time.
Yeah, so that was what I was doing just before I got on the podcast with you guys. Is I had the scene. It was like I swore I recorded clips of like the 3D printer printing this part, but I just couldn't find them anywhere. So I was like, okay, reprint the part. I had to wait till like it was like a 5-hour print, so I had to wait till it got right in the middle. So it's printing for like 2 hours. Go grab the camera, come over, get some clips of it in the middle. It's like, okay.
And then cancel it.
And then cancel the print.
Throw it out. Yeah. That's kind of the genius of when I'm doing a lot of cuts and stuff. I'll make a bunch of real tight shots.
Yeah.
Dude, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, forgot to film that cut on the miter saw. Well, I had a piece of walnut that I cut that was... It was close.
Close, yeah. I did put that doing because in this video, I printed a bunch of stuff in PLA, and then I reprinted it later in ABS.
You can't tell.
And I was thinking, I could just go back and grab some clips from the PLA part and put them where because the filament's basically the same color. But I was like,
You could adjust like the color balance on any of those clips just so it appears to be a new clip. Nobody would ever know because the camera angle's in the same spot.
Oh,
if you use the onboard camera, no one would know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Nobody
that's a good
know.
point. By the way,
how would they know?
New favorite filament for 3D printing.
Okay.
Let me see. Do I have a box of it kicking around? No, I don't. Oh, actually, yes, I do. It's bamboo. So have you guys ever tried printing with ABS before?
Yes. It smells like hell, and it
smells
warps
like hell,
crazy.
And it warps like crazy, right? It's horrible. I have never had good results printing with ABS. I've lost
one spool. We'll never buy it again.
Okay, get yourself some ABS GF. Okay, this is
glass filled.
Yes,
okay.
So it's glass filled ABS, so it has like fiberglass in it essentially, and that keeps it from contracting as it cools. So it's much
What
more
does it
stable.
smell?
It does still smell. Does still
I've
smell.
had an issue with the smell, and I have mine in my office right here.
Do you have
I've never had an issue with the smell.
air filter on yours?
I guess it does. I mean, whatever it comes with, I didn't add anything to
Interesting.
it.
I find with my H2D, I get very little smell. But if I print it on my X1, there is like a noticeable smell that comes with it. I try not to be in the room when it goes.
I haven't hung out all day with it, but I've printed like pretty big parts and come back to pull them off, and I didn't notice any issues.
Yeah, I think it dissipates pretty quickly. I think it's one of those things where as long as you're not like sitting within a couple feet of it, it's probably not the worst thing in the world. But as just general rule of thumb, I try and stay out of the room while I'm printing ABS.
Yeah, usually with like an ABS, that's something that's big. I'm going to print that overnight while I'm sleeping anyways.
Yes, yeah. But another good thing about this too is that it has that, with a carbon fiber filament, you get that fine texture and it really hides the layer lines.
Yeah.
This has the same thing. So it's a really nice. It took ABS from being one of my most hated filaments to now one of my most beloved filaments.
So why are you going with that as opposed to just like a carbon fiber PET-G or whatever?
Yeah, so the more heat resistant while still staying very rigid and strong. So like PET-G is great and it's more heat resistant.
But it's flexible.
But it's flexible. But so ABS is even more heat resistant than that and also not flexible. It's very rigid. So for the purposes of the project I was working on, that was more advantageous than using PET-G.
Now, is it more rigid than like PLA is super rigid, but it's also brittle as all hell?
Yeah, so it's similar rigid levels, but without being as brittle. You can really like torque on it, and it's more resistant to it. It doesn't shatter in the same way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
See, go ahead, Deric.
I was gonna say the one that I've had that's given me the most problem is PC.
Yeah, PC is annoying. Polycarbonate.
It destroyed my build plate because it adhered to parts of my build plate, and when I went to peel it off, like I cracked it off, it took parts of the like you got that sticker layer or whatever that goes down on your build plate whenever you're doing like a smooth, and it took parts of that off. I didn't realize that it would bond to that surface like that. And I don't know if it's because I didn't pull, because I had printed, I don't know, those little angle brackets that I printed that were good size.
Yeah. Like your templates. Right?
Yeah. And I had printed like 3 of them off before without any issue. But I was here whenever, like, I would be here within minutes of it coming off, give it just a few minutes to cool down enough to grab it, pull it off, pop it off, print the next one. The 4th one, the last one I did, I printed overnight. And then I didn't have anything else I needed to print. So it sat for a couple hours. And then I came back to it and I went to pop it off. Yep, destroyed that cool plate. I was so mad.
Some filaments you really have to get off while they're still warm.
Yeah.
And other ones, like the ABS, again, I know I'm really glazing the ABS here, but if you just leave it and the plate cools, it's like comes right off the plate. Like you don't even
it comes off much easier.
Yeah. Whereas
that's whenever I switched from the PC to the ABS, and I was pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I found the PET-G. If I let PET-G cool on the plate too, it's really annoying to remove.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. But I have noticed if you let your parts cool, especially just larger parts, if you let them cool on the plate, they tend to maintain their flatness as opposed to slightly bowing just a little bit.
That's a good tip.
Yeah. It's usually pretty minimal, but like I don't know, like say you were printing a ruler. I don't know why you would, but hear me out, right? That ruler would tend to want to like bend a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you let it cool on the plate, I find that it will stay flatter.
Okay. Yeah, like flat. If you were talking about a piece of wood, you would say that it would cup, right?
Yeah.
It would.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've still never learned those terminologies.
Okay. All right.
I just say it's warped.
Yes. Okay.
It's the same with like I was writing a script yesterday and doing a voiceover for my next video, and I was like, I genuinely like I understand the fact that there's different terminology. Like a dado a groove, a rabbit. It's like, listen, I'm just going to be throwing those around willy-nilly. I know one of them is like whether it's on the edge and if it goes like with the grain or against the grain or
does grain matter? Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, apparently it does. But like, I don't care. Right?
Yeah. I mean, look, we all know it's great engagement. You say the wrong thing intentionally sometimes just to get people riled up, get them commenting.
I haven't done that in a while. I need to.
I know, neither have I.
You know, speaking of the wrong thing and getting people riled up, nobody said anything about the Taylor Swift picture actually being Kelly Clarkson and not Taylor Swift. I was shocked. Not a word was said. But
I got a kick out of it. And some people might not know what you're talking about. We had to move the podcast from yesterday to today because I was at a concert. And so Deric posted something on Patreon letting people know about the live stream being on a different night and stuff like that. No one responded about that one. Maybe people don't know who Taylor Swift is.
That's true. Maybe they don't. She's not as popular as she claims.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what Kelly Clarkson looks like. I think I could pick Taylor Swift out of a lineup, but I don't think I could pick Kelly Clarkson.
John from Biscuit Tree says she's a discount Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was a Walmart Taylor Swift.
She came first, though.
That's true.
That's true. Hey, Deric, did you finally get your shop back?
I did, but it came at a cost.
Oh, wait. Is this the grievance that you have there?
No, I'm going to save the grievance for later. This is a lesson learned, or if you want things I screwed up or whatever.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Play the sound. Play the sound.
Yeah, I will say that
podcast.
Yeah, stolen. I will say that now part of my shop is black, and not in a good way. So we talked last week about painting, about rolling versus spraying, and I'm getting everything ready after we talk. And I said, you know what? I'm just gonna spray it. I'm just gonna go over. I'm gonna make room, and I'm gonna spray it. Like I managed to get, like I just shoved everything as far back as I could in my shop, and I made just enough room. And I dextered out everything, but I forgot about the floor, and the floor ended up blackened. And then there was a little gap that, like with the air sprayer, it blew the plastic a little bit, and it created a slight gap, probably about just a couple inches wide, along my the edge of my garage door. So the edge of my garage door has like some overspray to it, and it's black on white. And then my flooring is just like, it's black, and it's like a nice little square. There's hard lines where the plastic was. But yeah, so I think I can scrape it off. If not, I can use like because it's just concrete. So I can use some sort of remover or something like that.
I've got something for you.
All right.
But Zach, you go ahead because I'm looking it up.
I was going to say it's a latex paint, right? Like it's a water-based paint, right?
Yeah. Water-based,
and it's sprayed, so it probably started drying before it even hit whatever surface. So chances are it's probably not very well adhered to whatever surface, both your floor and the garage door. You might even be able to just get it with a wet rag or like a little scrubby pad. Yeah, you'd be surprised. I've had a lot of... This is my gripe as a home builder. We would always have the painters come through and get little paint splotches on our fresh hardwood floors.
Yeah. And
I never found a paint splotch I couldn't get off with just a wet cloth and a little bit of rubbing action.
Well, I had seen these tools up at Home Depot that I thought I might go get. It's basically, like you got the broomstick, and then there's like a little head that goes on the end, and it's just like a 4-inch long razor blade, basically, that goes on the end. So I thought I might get that and try and just scrape it all, and it'd probably come right off, I would imagine.
Yeah.
So, not that we need to rehash this story, but you guys remember when we had that absolute nightmare of the painter's job at my house?
Yeah.
So I was talking to our buddy Ronnie Fulton about it, and he does like tons of home remodeling and stuff. He said that he uses this stuff called M1 Tough Job whenever he gets like paint on like concrete or whatever, and he said it works like a charm.
Okay. Now you can just use good old fashioned paint stripper too.
He said, I'm fairly sure I bought it at Sherwin-Williams. Saves me regularly when I can get it out of concrete with a wire brush.
Huh, all right. Sick.
Yeah.
It's a latex remover.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
I use it all the time.
The paint strippers, back in the day, paint strippers used to be hardcore chemicals that you didn't want to get on your hands. These days, they have this like new eco paint stripper that's not supposed to be as bad.
It's like mineral spirits almost.
No, the one I used was it was like a gel.
That one, the orange citrus one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently you can, I don't know, it's not nearly as toxic as the old stuff was.
You know what else might work? We're just talking floors, right? That's all we're talking about?
Yeah.
Have you seen I know my Milwaukee outdoor thingy. It's like they call it the click attach power head, something or whatever it is. It's like basically a motor with a stick, and then at the end of the stick you could put a weed whacker on it.
Oh, sure.
Chainsaw, those detachable outdoor things.
Yeah, the universal attachments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make a nylon like wheel one. I wonder like something like that would work well. Obviously you would put down soap or paint strip or something. Yeah. And then just basically just like it's like a power scrubber almost.
How would you keep that from flying everywhere? You'd have to like cover the head or something.
You got to set up your.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the DeWalt power tools or do you have like Ego?
I got the DeWalt. I got one of those stick things like that you can interchange.
Is it the Ego one?
No, it's the DeWalt one.
Okay.
For weed whacking and all that stuff.
Yeah. Is it the 60-volt one?
Yeah.
Do you like it? I'm thinking about buying it.
I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing was, there's no. I had a Ryobi before, and you could adjust the grip on it, because I'm taller, so like, with that, I'm hunched over a lot with it, and I could adjust the grip, and it was a lot more comfortable. This one, I feel like I'm hunched over a little bit more trying to use it. And maybe I just haven't figured out the right way to do it. That and the head I got which isn't a DeWalt, but I got a head for edge trimming. It's the hard, almost like a half a saw blade that does your edging. That thing it needs to be replaced. It worked great the first couple times, but now like that wheel doesn't turn, so I'm really just kind of like shoving it through, and I need to find a new one.
It's summertime, so I'm thinking yard tools. I have all of these different. I have a weed whacker. I have a hedge trimmer. I have a pole trimmer. And I was like, well, you can just get a weed whacker with like the interchangeable head, so I can essentially replace 3 or 4 tools with one. Yeah,
that's why I got this one, is because you could do the interchangeable heads. And the other thing I'll say is, whenever you're changing out the heads, there's no like it doesn't want to stand up. You can put a battery in it, and it'll stand with the battery on it, but it's still kind of wobbly. So it's a little like you almost got to lay it across a table or something like that when you swap out the heads.
Okay.
Yeah,
kind of. I was just looking, so they have the DeWalt one's called the Powered Sweeper. Powered Sweeper. Now, it looks like that would exactly, but that looks like almost like you're like cleaning like a sidewalk or something.
Yeah.
Sidewalks, paths, and patios is what it says. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it's probably going to just throw stuff everywhere.
I wonder how strong this thing is. Like, could you use this to like resurface a deck or something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
How strong are these bristles?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, they make a 20-volt cordless snow shovel.
Whoa. Outdoor tools are so cool.
It's funny. I was looking. I had to drain the spa this weekend to refill it with fresh water, and there's just like a little. You attach a garden hose at the bottom, and it kind of gravities out.
Okay, sure.
When I was like, okay, I'm gonna find a pump because this thing took like 3 hours to drain out, so I'm gonna find like a pump for the next time, and I can get one. I found it like Harbor Freight for like $50. You attach garden hose both ends, and then it drives it out. Well, after that, I got an email this morning from DeWalt announcing their new pump that would basically do that thing. And it's like you can attach a 20-volt battery to it, put a hose on either end of it, and it'll pump your water or whatever out. And I was like, what are the odds? Like, they got to be matching, right? Because I can't imagine they just decided to come out with this tool, and it just happens to be whenever I'm looking for one.
I saw that as a Ryobi tool. I didn't know that they made a DeWalt one. That's cool.
I could, I don't need 99% of these outdoor tools, but I'm like, that'd be pretty nice to have.
Right? The thing about outdoor tools is like you need to have them
once
before you need them. Yeah, you need them once, but you need to have them before, because there's some tool out there that will make whatever annoying BS job that you have to do 20 times easier. But the second you have to drive to the hardware store to get it, it's like it's not even worth your time. You might as well just do it the annoying way.
Oh, see, so you're saying it's like when it's already in your garage and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I got the hedge trimmer, just rip it out, as opposed to being like, well, I'm not going to go to the store and buy this. Like
the pole saw is a great example, because you could be like, well, I guess I could use my reciprocating saw and I could get a ladder set up and I could probably find a way to get up there. But if you already have the pole saw ready to go, it's like you click a battery into it, you're good to go. That branch is cut down in 10 seconds.
Okay, that's a good example for using the tools you have. What about if you're needing to till up the soil because you're putting in a garden bed? Do you go rent a tiller for like $50 for a couple hours, or do you dig it by hand?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Deric, because I actually have Sophie tilling the backyard right now. So.
Do you have one of those like hand ones you push it in and you twist it or whatever?
I just got her big rake.
One of them like plastic floppy ones.
Yeah, no, it's a good metal one at least. But
I got the powered tiller head for my like quick change thing. Dude, that thing's a beast.
Oh, really?
It works fantastic.
Who makes it?
It's a Milwaukee. I got the Milwaukee.
Oh, DeWalt make ones too. Makes one too.
Yeah. It works great. And you would think it'd chew through battery. I ran it for like a half hour straight, and I only went through like one bar on the battery.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I was on the DeWalt website trying to figure out, like, okay, if I buy this tool that powers the universal heads, how many attachments do they then have? And I could not, for the life of me, anywhere find a complete list of all the attachments they have.
Well, it's because their product lineup's confusing as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the attachments I had for mine, I got third party because I couldn't find the DeWalt ones anywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They'll make stuff and then they'll just slowly phase it out without telling anybody, and it'll still be on their website, but you can't find it in any stores.
And still on Home Depot's website. I mean, I guess that's how you get clicks, but that's what I need to do. I need to populate my website with a bunch of stuff that I just don't make anymore.
Yeah.
all the nostalgic toys and stuff like that.
Out of stock, coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
But while you're here, check out my YouTube videos that have absolutely nothing to do with this.
Oh yeah, that pisses me off. All the listings on websites that are listed as out of stock coming soon, but they've been that way for 3 or 4 years. It's like, just take it off the website. Hire the web admin to monitor your stuff and keep it up to date.
Right. Like the other day I was looking, I don't know if you guys have heard this. Festool used to make this thing called the Vaxis. Long story short, it's like these vacuum pump pods that you like put on your workbench. So if you want to hold a piece, you literally just like set it on there and it instantly vacuums and suctions it. I was like, man, I'd like to have one of those. So obviously, like, they haven't made it in an eternity.
According to Lee Valley, they still have some in stock. Oh no, wait.
Out of stock.
Online out of stock. Expected August 12th.
Is that
this year or last year?
Is that the whole system with like the pumps and stuff, or is it just the little like pod guys?
It's 3 heads.
Yeah, you need like it's like a pump. There's like a system and stuff to it.
Okay.
Like, but if you Google it, you'll find websites that will have it out of stock.
Right. Yes.
So just take it off.
Just take it off. And maybe this is Festool's fault too. Maybe they're like stringing along all their retailers saying, "Oh, don't worry, it's coming back in stock. We're going to make more of them."
Maybe.
But I doubt it. It's probably just bad web admins.
But
We're good
so
at it.
Deric, the little stands are out of the garage.
They're out of my garage.
But
the
now you
garage
just
is
have
open.
to clean up the mess, right?
So yeah, I've been cleaning up and I'm getting ready for the next round. And then I a project's never really over until the client says it's over.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Do you have an inkling that it's going to continue?
That's some grievances I have to get to later.
This is the after show.
Interesting.
Yes.
Everybody enjoys a good client story.
Right? Yeah. They make my hearing other people's client stories makes my palms sweat.
I know.
Dealing with it.
And it also makes me happy that I, by and large, don't do that.
Yes.
Right.
This is definitely one of those projects where I'm like, I don't know if I want to do client work anymore.
Yeah.
Are you making? It's not against the client. It's just like it's so much work. It's an extra layer of stuff to have to deal with. But
yeah. Man. Are you trying to make a YouTube video out of this too, or?
I will. Yeah, I will eventually. I have one that I was working on before this came along. That I've been so focused on this, I have not wrapped up the video for, and I need to wrap that one up, put it out, and then I can get to this one. My plan is as soon as the last half of this is over, then focusing on generating some content finally. I really have just it's all taken a backseat the last few weeks as I've been wrapping this thing up. But I do have a question for you guys about this. So I did the slat wall and I used the little T-slot bit to cut those slats, right? So one of the issues is so I did Rubio monocoat on the face of these panels. They're a maple veneered plywood, and then I cut in these T-slots, sandwiched them back to back, so it's actually like two 3/4 inch plywood pieces back to back with the T-slots cut out in the middle. In that so would you, if you're covering it in Rubio, would you just cover the face, or would you go into the T-slots and cover those as well?
Good question. I mean,
I'd probably just do the face.
Yeah, it would be ideal to do in the slots.
So how would you do that?
I don't know.
Q-tip,
so much patience. A brush you don't mind absolutely mangling.
Yeah, because there's gonna be rough or edges and stuff. Like if you did a foam brush, it would shred it.
Yeah, because you can't completely sand all that out either.
No.
Yeah, so there's
no good way to do it.
Yeah.
But
that's one thing the client wants, is for those to be
the ones
matching on the inside as well as the face.
But it's finished. It's plywood, so does that mean then veneering the inside?
How do you mean? No. Just they just want the ends. So the stain, or the stain. I keep calling it a stain.
They
keep calling it a stain. But the Rubio is like a dark Rubio. It's a smoke.
I see.
So it grays it a little bit. And then you have that maple behind it that's kind of that white wood popping off of it. And they don't like that look of the contrast. And I'm like, this plywood. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know how to get in there and get that cleaned up.
So I think your best option there is to just slop stuff on there. And I'd take a rag, dip it in the Rubio, and then jam the rag in there and just jam it back and forth. And don't even worry about let it sitting there for that long, because you're not worried about the protection. Just get it on and wipe it off.
Okay, but what about curing and everything? Because they're going to hang things like historic garments and stuff like that on there. So I don't want any of that oil coming off onto those items. So would they just not be able to use it for a couple months? Because I know that stuff takes a while to cure if it's not properly.
If you get the accelerator, it's I think it's a week with the accelerator.
But then you have those things back in your shop for a week.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to do it in place. I'm not bringing it back. So I'm going to go there and do it.
Trying to think how else. I mean, the other option, I don't know, maybe this is more work than it's worth, but maybe you go and get a water-based stain made to match the same color, and then just stain the inside so that you get pretty close, because it's not it's different surfaces, right? It's never going to match, no matter what. It's not going to match perfectly.
Yeah.
Because you're standing a different type of wood, but you just want to get in the right ballpark, and then the water base will dry really quickly.
Okay. And that won't affect the Rubio, though.
Maybe mask off the Rubio, painter's tape. I know.
Yeah.
This became like a whole thing. This is one thing I did not expect.
Yeah.
Okay.
This to be a complaint.
Pause on that for a minute. The problem is the face of the plywood is never going to match the veneer cores of the plywood.
No. I don't think they're looking for an exact match. They just want that color on the inside as well.
The gray hue.
Yeah, just like to darken it.
What's the width of the... I've got an idea. What's the width of the T-track slot?
It's like a quarter inch on the top.
Yeah, I think it's a quarter inch opening and then
3/8 on the bottom, probably.
Something like that, yeah.
It's tight, Zach.
Is it tight?
Yeah.
Probably. I was thinking you could get some maple edge banding.
Just
apply the Rubio, shove it.
Well,
in
they
there.
want it like around the lip as well as the backside. So,
but that
almost
lip,
that entire T.
That lip is easy to get. Like that, you can get with like a brush or something like that. But it's in the back that's the tricky part. Yeah. So
especially like up inside like the T part. Because my thing is like,
dude, that's
I can get the back, but like if you're looking at it from the right angle, you're still going to see like the tops and the bottoms of it.
That's why I'm wondering, could you do like veneer tape and then just push it in, and then you like use a heat gun to heat it up and press it down? And
wait, hold on. I have an idea.
All right, I'm open.
Are the edges open?
They're locked off. I know.
Okay. Because I had this idea of like get a piece of wood that's shaped as the T-track, wrap a towel around it, and basically just push it through.
Yeah, but it's probably going to squeegee out all the good stuff right where it goes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Damn.
I know. It's been
the only thing I can think of is I'm going to draw this. So I got like the T-track shape, and then if you make something, all right, so you got I
wonder if anybody makes a tool for
the
this.
T-track shape, and then you're going to drop in like an L-shaped piece that can kind of scoop in and do one side at a time.
Yeah.
So almost like a L or like a J like hook, where you're basically going to finish the top, and then you're going to go the other way and finish the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, because it doesn't need to necessarily get all the way, you can't see that part of it, but definitely down and then up and then the backside. I know,
so
this is my latest one.
Yeah, dude, that is... I really think the only way is some way, John from Biscuit Tree said acid brush, like something like that. Put the oil in there, and then pretty much immediately just jam a bunch of towels in there and kind of soak it up. You're not going to completely remove that stuff. You will have the teeniest amount of little stickiness in there, but it'll be dry enough for them to put something like little hooks or whatever in there within a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and address the other issues first, and then
hope it goes away.
Kick this one down a little bit. And not necessarily hope it goes away, but try some things in shop first. Like I'm going to do just a small section of test, and then test a few things and in the shop before I take it there. Because my thing is I don't want to go there and do a bunch of testing on the actual unit that I then have to fix if it doesn't work.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, get some offcuts, test on those. Yes. Honestly, I think if I were you, I'd get a small paintbrush and I would get a water-based stain.
That's what I think I'm gonna try first. Like I'm hoping that the Rubio will protect it enough.
Yeah,
I can do that and then wipe it away fast enough that it doesn't affect it.
Yeah.
And you're like just doing like, again, you're doing a different surface, so
yeah.
I think it'll be, if you got a pretty decent painting hand, shouldn't be too bad.
Then I might need to come up with an alternative.
Yeah, I mean, with this, you definitely want to practice in the shop because you want to give the illusion that they brought this up and you go, yep, no problem. Like, to make it a good experience for them, you could be like, yeah, I got this under control. Not like, well, I'm going to have to figure it out.
I already went down that road of, well, I got to figure it out. So we're there.
You know,
Yeah, whatever.
I'm nothing but honest, and that's what I told him. I was like, look, this is the slots are a new thing for me, and I didn't think that you would want them finished throughout. I assumed, and that's probably my fault, that the look would be okay.
Yeah,
But it's not. So that's on me.
One other thing, just spitballing here. Would it be possible to make some sort of filler piece that would cover up the like, okay, so they're going to hang things on it, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to put some sort of hanger in. Could you then make like a little filler strip that filled the negative space where the hanger isn't?
There are
like a little T-shaped
it's a modular system, so they're hanging things different each time that they hang them.
Right.
So figuring out that would be
Yeah.
all those variables would be impossible. Plus, there are 4 units, double-sided, 8 sides, with T-slot going every 3 inches across a 48 by 36 panel.
Yeah.
I forgot how many of these you're going to have to stain too. Oh, my Lord.
I hope you're going to hit them with a change order for this.
That's where I don't know how to word that yet, but yeah, that's something that I think I need to do as well.
Yeah, well, you're going to spend at least a day on this, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's tough. That's tough because it's like, I truly, truly get both sides of it. Yeah. I understand how, as a customer, if you're like, I would like this finished in gray. I 100% understand how the implied meaning of that is 100% of it, right?
Yeah.
Not that you stained it and then routed the T-track or whatever. But I can understand from your standpoint of saying, well, yeah, the way that this thing is manufactured, you know, you stain it, then you put the T-track in or whatever. It's not really feasible for you to get in there. And I think there's a disconnect there, which makes a challenge.
So the other thing is, this whole project, they already had a slat wall, like a manufactured one. It was like metal framing with some thin slat wall inside of it that was like MDF that had been channeled and then veneered over the face of it. So what they showed me as the inspiration piece was MDF with a veneer on the face of it. So what I'm looking at is a stained veneer, not even veneer, it's like plastic vinyl face of it that's made to look like wood grain. And then exposed MDF channels that were not painted or stained. It was just the MDF coloring that was in there.
Sure.
Which was weathered dark because, you know, it darkens over time. So that didn't have any finish. Yeah. That didn't have any finish on it. That was just natural.
Yeah.
So, that's where I'm like, I just assumed you know, I didn't think it would matter. I didn't think that this would be an issue. Of all the things that I expected them to bring up, this is not what I expected.
This is like the city, right? Or
it's the historical society. It's a museum in the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Look, you're talking to somebody who's not spending their own money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's if this were like a homeowner or something like that, I would expect them to put up a little more of a stink about it. But
it's not Rob and Becky down the street.
Exactly. You're dealing with like a municipality. Like, if you hit them with an extra, I don't know, $500,000 to do a change order at the last minute, I don't know. I don't think you would be an asshole for doing that. Is what I'm saying.
No, especially like. Well, you'll find out. We'll talk about that later.
All right, good teaser for the after show.
Good teaser, but Well, Zach, what have you been? You've been editing?
Editing? Yeah.
What's the next video? What are we doing?
I think I've talked to you guys about this, but you know how a long time ago I hid my computer on my desk.
Oh yeah.
I did the same thing, but this time it's with my PlayStation 5.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah.
Because this is the one that you're using the 3D scanner for, right? To help with like your mounting points and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's the culmination of that video.
Okay.
So I'm just going through all the footage, editing. I was doing voiceovers today, a whole bunch of fun stuff like that, and I have to have it done and out the door by next Thursday. So a little tight, but I'm feeling pretty confident at this point.
Is that PlayStation 5 shell back there from it?
Yes, that is an empty shell behind me that you see there. Let's see.
Now, is it one of those things where like you're like, this is really pushing it, or you're like, I got this. I'm just going to really have to focus.
It was one of those ones where I was like, if everything goes according to plan, then it'll be okay. Right. But if anything fucks up, we can swear now.
Yeah, you got it out of the way.
Yeah, if anything fucks up, then it's going to throw off the entire schedule of this video. So far, looking like everything's going okay. But I did all of these modifications to the Xbox. Like, I did some micro soldering on it. I reworked the whole cooling system. So in the video, when you see me press I say, like, I haven't tested any of this. This is my first time testing it. And I press the button. It actually turned on and worked the first time. I was like, oh, thank God. It's like such a relief.
Right. I get
so that. From that moment forward, I was feeling a lot more confident about the whole thing. I was like, okay, now at least everything still works. I didn't break anything permanently. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I know the feeling. I have a video that's due the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I'm making like a haul table, right? It's not
okay. The one you sent us a picture of the other
day. Yeah. The one I sent you guys a picture of the other day. There's so many parts and pieces of that piece of furniture that you kind of have to you got to mill a bunch of boards from the get-go, and then you got to make some panels and this and that. It's one of those projects that's like, it does not come together until like right at the end. And I'm thinking, I don't know if I'm going to get this done in time.
Yeah.
And then it just like comes together. But now I'm really trying, I spent all yesterday writing the script, spent this morning doing the voiceover, which I had like a sore throat. So that was rough to do.
How long of voice? I think I have like 2 hours of voiceovering in me, and then I need to like walk away because I just start stumbling over my words. And I can't enunciate, and I'm like, did I say that word right? It, like, words stop having meaning and stuff like that.
What I typically do is I have on like one screen I have Final Cut, my video editing software, and then on like the other side of the screen I have like the Word document. Mm-hmm. Typically, once I get through 1 or 2 pages of the Word document, I just get up, I'll go downstairs, get a glass of water.
Little sanity break.
Yeah, even like 2 minutes, come back. It helps me a lot.
It does, for sure it does, yeah. I do the same thing, go have a shower, come back, go fold the laundry, come back. Like, just a quick little break, something to get your mind off it for a second, it makes a big difference.
But the problem with doing it in shifts, and you can actually tell when my ad read starts because I started the ad read a couple days ago. I basically sent them like a 3-hour long video with the only thing that was like edited and voiced over was the ad read part.
Ad read. Wait, you didn't like block out just the part of the ad read and send them that? You sent them like the entire timeline?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just went for it, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
You can tell a very distinct vocal change.
Yes.
Because I was like fresh when I started the ad read, so I have a lot more enthusiasm during that part.
That's like one of those things, like the continuity, or is like, I wonder if people know this in my videos, because that's so true. Like, I have voiceovers where it's like some you're just like grinding it out. You're like, okay, I just gotta get this last part out. And then the other one, you'll start at the beginning of the next day, and it's like you're happy, you're cheerful. It's like, oh, I'm excited to be here again. I'm not like all worn down. So I wonder if people notice that.
Yeah, probably.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh, this voiceover isn't enthusiastic enough. I'll go back and like re-record it, or I didn't like hit the kind of intonation that I want, or I don't know. Like, I didn't capture the right feeling with this. I'll go back and redo it.
Hey, this was another ad read that I got away with not showing a single thing about the product.
Oh wow. I don't know how you do this. That's amazing.
It was for Incogni, the data deleting.
Yeah, totally. Right? Yeah, I've done a video for them in the past.
Right. Didn't show anything.
Didn't show anything.
Just talked about it.
When I did Incogni, they gave me like a folder full of like graphics and stuff. They were like, "Hey, use these animations in your ad read."
I think I used 2 of the animations, but it's more just like, have you ever like found your personal information online and it's like this teeny tiny square on the top?
Okay.
But it's just me building the entire time. Never stops.
I keep forgetting. I really gotta try doing this picture-in-picture thing. Yeah, this bamboo one was actually great. It's like the most seamless thing. They said just show you using the printer throughout the video. We don't want anything else from you.
That's what more brands need to do this.
I know. They were like, just use it, and like, if you can include something about how like we love the maker spirit or something like that, that'd be great. But like, really, we're just looking for you to use the printer.
Natural integration.
Yeah, I watched Morley Kurt's newest video about it. He built a suitcase that folds out to be like a tent or whatever.
Wow.
And it was sponsored by Bamboo, but it was basically just him like, so then I 3D printed this thing, but then this didn't work. And then I had to 3D print this thing. So the H2D got tons of airtime.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just like a pause ad.
Yes.
Yeah. It wasn't intrusive.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And especially like if you've watched his other videos, like he's always using and talking about 3D printing. So it just felt like a natural integration.
Yeah, 100%. I think they had, this is inside baseball, but I think they had a little bit of a shakeup in their internal social media team.
Well, we know they did.
Yeah, and
we got a message from Mark at Influent about it.
Yes, yeah. No, I'm talking about the audience might not know this.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I forget that.
That's all right.
Yeah. They're not in that. They didn't get CC'd.
Yeah, they went from more like strict ad reads to these more laid back ones, which I think is a great change. So
more people need to do that.
I think the audience likes it too.
Of course, the audience likes it better.
Like, listen, I'm not dumb. I know that we're going to have product placement ad reads and stuff like that, but like, let's not just do this hard pause ad read. Like, make it natural.
Yes,
I don't care.
Yes, and it's better for the brand too, because if you do the hard break ad read, then people skip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're watching one of your favorite shows, and they do an ad break, and they it's a commercial for Starbucks. You skip over it, but if you're watching Game of Thrones and there's a Starbucks cop in the bottom, it's natural,
right? Or you watch like a sitcom, and they're like, they like the 30-second scene, they're walking in, driving through Starbucks and getting a coffee or something like that, like. Listen, I understand that was probably paid, but it doesn't break up the continuity of things.
For sure. I've actually, it's funny sometimes, like what is an ad in a movie and what is just like realistic
enthusiasm.
Script. Well, no, like realistic script writing. Because that's the thing people do. They go to Starbucks and get a coffee. Yeah. So if they're just setting up a scene where like, two friends are like, deciding what they're going to do today, and they start with a coffee, and it's a Starbucks. Is that an ad integration, or is that just like them trying to make it realistic?
I assume at this point that anytime there's a recognizable brand on the screen, it's been paid for. And if it's not recognizable, if it's Joe's Coffee, they couldn't get a sponsorship. Right. That's just my assumption.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, like, if you try and do a Hollywood movie and you use a Starbucks cup, do you have to seek their approval?
You do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because they not only do they do you as a person making that want to be paid for that product placement, they also don't want their brand associated with certain things. So they may not want their brand associated with your movie.
If your movie had a specific topic or genre or whatever, that's
something
fair.
Like that.
Interesting. But is that true? Like.
So, like, if I put a Starbucks cup in my video, or this delicious prickly pear Simple Truth sparkling water, get yours today at Simple Truth. I don't know.
Well, like every YouTuber has, brands all over their video, and not paid stuff. Like if you look around my room, you can probably see like 20 different labels, just because that's real life, right?
Got a Shure mic in the. In this right now.
Yeah, So could Shure send Eric a message and be like, take the label off because we don't like the things you're talking about into our microphone?
I think they could. I think they could say just don't show the brand anymore. I would imagine.
I wonder.
This opens up a whole can of worms.
Yeah.
Huh.
But I mean, like, I don't think Shure is going to do that, or Boss Dog, or any of these brand Festool, whoever you got behind you.
Boss Dog wood glue, build like a boss. By the way, not sponsored at all. I bought a bunch of Nick's
KM tools.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
True.
I bought a bunch of Nick's glue. Dude, that bottle on the glue.
Oh, it's awesome.
So nice.
Yeah.
It's got like a little like twisty top.
I remember him talking about it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, that's nice.
I went through my first bottle of that, and I still have some of the old glue. I've just been pouring it into his bottles and using up the old stuff until I get through it all. Because that bottle's awesome.
Dude, that's smart. That's smart. Yeah, I got a bunch of Tight Bond and some old bottle. Now it just pisses me off. But I'm cheap to throw it out.
But you wait till you're done with the Boss Dog and then put the Tight Bond into that bottle.
That's what I was going to do.
There you go. That's best of both worlds.
I wonder if he sells just like the empty bottles, if you could just get some empty bottles.
I bet if you ask him nicely.
Yeah,
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. Find out where he's buying them from. Short circuit the whole thing.
That's going to be on my latest rendition of 10 tools I wish I bought earlier. It's going to be that.
I was thinking about that. I was like, oh, that was a pretty good video for me at the end of the year. I was like, I wonder, would I have 10 more tools that I could suggest at the end of this year?
Okay, I already got some for you.
Yeah.
Ultrasonic cleaner.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. PlayStation 5.
I mean, I don't know enough about the tech stuff.
I mean, my 3D scanner for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
ABS.
Bourbon Blade. ABS, GF. Okay, you know what? We're getting there.
Yeah. Ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Analyze my videos this year. Find some products that I've
used.
Yeah.
Because at least it would populate a list. You could be like, oh, okay, no. Oh, that reminds me of this one or whatever.
Yeah, true.
That ultrasonic cleaner, though, just got mine the other day.
Pretty neat, right? Hate the noise it makes. Hate the noise. And by the way, if you have noise canceling headphones, like the type that listens and then generates a sound to
the counter
doesn't work.
It makes the sound even worse and blasts it directly into your ear. It's horrible.
So like AirPods, probably.
Yeah, if you have AirPods Pro,
it's an oscillation sound, and that cancellation can't keep up with that wave, so it just makes it louder, like you said, because it's just amplifying it is what the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, see, Scott said that he got a giant ultrasonic cleaner that fits an entire table saw blade.
Oh,
Scott, I was looking for one of those, but I was too cheap. I saw some that were like $300-$400. I was like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, Scott, you probably paid like $500 for that thing, I would imagine.
Shoot us a link, Scott. Text us a link or something. We're curious. Because I just got one off Amazon. Actually, I'm thinking about returning it and getting a smaller one because the bin itself isn't super big, but the unit is very large.
What do you mean? Like the little mesh cage?
Yeah. So I would say like you could fit like, I don't know.
Scott spent $300 on his.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad.
300. Huh. But it's like the little bowl cage where you put your stuff in. It's probably only 1/4 of the depth of the entire unit.
Oh, really?
I'm like, what's going on underneath it?
Yeah. I don't think you need that little cage thing. I think you can run it without that. Like you just put the blades directly in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, I guess what I'm saying is like the cage part itself that you can lift it up and stuff. But even that is only like 1 or 2 inches deep, and the unit itself is like 12 inches tall.
Right. That's weird.
Very, very strange. But it worked like a gem getting a bunch of junk off of router bits. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that I don't understand, and maybe you guys can teach me about this, there was one, it has like a different settings on it, and I didn't understand the terminology, and the instruction book didn't tell me anything. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
So do you just throw all the bits in there together, or is there something that keeps them from like banging against each other while it's being cleaned?
You could just kind of throw them in there. They're not like whipping around in there.
Yeah.
But I thought there might be like a slight vibration if they're if you got a blade against a blade when that.
Yeah, if you had a blade against a blade, it might vibrate a little bit. But I mean, you could use that basket and you could kind of put them all in upside down in their own little.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe you could 3D print something.
Yeah. You definitely could 3D print a little holder and put them in there.
What does degassing on that thing do? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay. Don't feed it cheese. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then there's an ultrasonic and a semi-wave button.
Oh, I don't know what the semi-wave. Mine just has an on-off switch and a temperature dial.
Okay. Maybe it's like full aggression and like partial aggression, like semi.
Yeah,
like
maybe it's like how like rough it is or whatever.
Yeah.
For like softer materials, maybe.
Interesting. I have no idea.
If you want to give yourself a nice little treat, you can take off your watch band and throw it in there too. It'll clean it up real good.
Oh.
And any jewelry, any of your spouse's jewelry you can throw in there.
What medium do you put in there? Do you do water and then like soap, or what do you do?
Depends what you're cleaning. Like if you were doing saw blades, I'd put some of that saw blade cleaner in there. Like Simple Green, and there's some other ones. Right. Honestly, and for electronics, you can use alcohol instead of water if you're worried about it, conductivity or corroding anything.
Now, do you just leave yours filled with the solution until you're like, okay, this is dirty, I need to get rid of this? Or do you fill? Mine says you're supposed to empty it and dry it after every single use. I'm like,
depends what the solution is. I think if it's water and soap, then I'll just drain it out after every use. But if it's something that costs a few bucks, like alcohol, I might be more tempted to leave it in there. Because it's just I don't know. It's just a metal drum. Like it's not like there's any exposed circuitry or anything like that. I don't think it's going to hurt it to have it.
I suppose if it was like alcohol or something like that, you could just pour it into a container to save it for the next time.
Yeah,
and put it back.
Yeah.
I was stress testing it. I have some of the first router bits I'd ever bought, like one of those Ryobi like combo sets or whatever. Just absolute dog shit quality router bits, right? And I left them in there. I left it running for like a half hour. It got a lot of the stuff off. Like these are bits that I charred and burned because I had no idea how to use a router, right? It got a lot of stuff off, but it's interesting. It actually looks like it like peeled off some sort of coating that was on them as well. Almost like a really thin like paint of some sort.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Whatever's on it too. I don't know if it comes from the factory with any sort of paint or anything like that. I'm sure that'll all come right off. Yeah. I made the mistake of using my ultrasonic cleaner on a pair of my old sunglasses, and it delaminated the coating on the lens.
They're no longer polarized.
Yeah. So it had like this weird crackle effect. I had to replace the lenses.
Oh. Yeah. Now let me ask you this. The bits router bits. You've seen the router bits that have like a iridescent coating on them or whatever.
Yeah.
I wonder if it would take that off.
I wonder.
No more Astra coating.
Astra HP. Yeah. No.
That looks like what happens to metal when you heat it up like crazy. So I wonder if that's actually in it or if it sits on top.
I think it's a coating because if you look at like the shank of the router bit, it doesn't go all the way down.
Yeah, true. It sits just below the collet. I don't know. Interesting. Yeah. Give it a try. Toss one of those in there and see what happens.
Right.
That's true.
Your dime, not mine.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Guess. Yeah. Not my problem. Right. Well.
But yeah, it depends. Like I would start messing around. Like if you were working with pine or something like that, and you had like a bunch of gummed up bits, I might throw some like tree sap cleaner in there with some water and.
Well, that's what Scott said. He said that he was working with a lot of pine and cleaning blades manually was getting old very fast. Yeah. I used to think that micro jig little box that you spin the blades and stuff. Love that thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I can just put it in this little machine and just deal with it buzzing like crazy, and it's done.
Yeah.
I'm in. So
I gotta find more stuff to put in my ultrasonic cleaner. I mostly got it because I got a motorcycle and I wanted to like clean the small parts of that.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if it would clean your 3D printing tips. Like if you just put the little tips in there.
That's a good. I got some. I think I got some plasticed up ones here. I got a blob of death on one of my printer tips. Yeah, I wonder if it could like even work out a clog or something like that. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's a good one.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah. If you could just somehow put just the tip in there.
Focus.
I've got a real bad one where it's like an inch or two thick of filament that just clogged on it.
Yeah, toss it in there. Fine. I'm curious.
Because you can turn the heat up on it. I'm sure that'll help melt the plastic a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, here's a pretty good one too.
I think mine goes up to like 50 degrees Celsius or something like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got a little science experiment for the next episode, perhaps.
Now, I'll be honest with you, selfish intent. Part of the reason I didn't buy a bigger ultrasonic cleaning machine is because I wanted it to be cheap so I can put it in my tool list video. Because if it's like $40, people will be like, oh, sure.
Yeah,
I'll grab that. But if it's like, hey, this thing is $500, people are like, no.
I think I did in my tool list video. I was like, here's an expensive one and here's a cheaper alternative that I've also used that's good. Because a lot of things like, we've all done it. You buy the cheap one, you use it for a bit. You're like, this is okay, but I know that I really use this tool a lot, so I'm going to buy the expensive one now. So I had like a cheap and expensive option for a lot of things.
I understand. So you could say like, hey, the bourbon blade's fantastic for getting stuff off print beds. However, I found a similar, just like flat shaped knife that also works really well.
Exactly. And it's $15.
You could even say a chisel. You could be like a woodworking chisel works fantastic. But if you want something slimmer, cooler, the pro version could be the bourbon blade. Okay. So it's not that it's necessarily any worse of product. It accomplishes the same function, maybe just a different form factor, perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, there's lots of tools out there that are 90% as good, but they're 15% of the cost or something. You know what I mean? So.
You know what is 100% of good as good?
The Aftershow?
Yeah.
This time with confidence.
Not the segue to the after show, but letting you know that patreon.com/offthecutpodcast is where we're going to head.
Hell yeah.
We do every week, right? I think. Most weeks.
Yes,
Unless we do the BYOC, which is for the top tiers.
True. Let me tell you, I'm clamoring to hear these grievances. And there was something that the three of us were texting about this weekend.
Ooh.
And I think it might be an interesting topic.
Okay.
Maybe get a little, I think we may even disagree. Probably a lot of yelling and banging of fists on the table and stuff,
We haven't had a lot of outright fights on this podcast.
No.
Yeah.
Well, there's the whole Taylor Swift, Kelly Clarkson controversy, but we got past that pretty quick.
True. That's true.
Can't believe you called her Walmart, Taylor Swift.
Hey, Kmart.
Kmart, yeah.
Kmart. But everybody, thanks so much for hanging out and listening. We're heading over to the after show. Patreon.com/offthecutpodcast. If you want to head over there. If not, that's cool. I'll see you next week.
See you, everybody.
See you all around.
I want to give a huge shout out to our returning top tier patrons. Corey Duvall at Woodcrafts and Honey. Josh at Sawdust Bills. Joe Welsh at Delaware Valley Workshop. Goblin Spanker.
You can't say that anymore.
Building Creative. And Dadu's debit card did work.
Bingo bango, you're done.
Zach, to be honest with you, I don't even know if I follow you.
You should stop.